All right, race fans, welcome to TurnLeftTV. You ready for some high-speed action tonight? Let's step on the gas. All right, race fans, welcome to Kentucky Speedway. This is TurnLeftTV, and I'm your host, Heath Johnson. The High Octane Racing League Saturday Showdown Series kicks off, or finishes off, I should say, the race season here tonight at Kentucky Speedway. It's a 100-lap race and a very, very fun track, man. Race number 10, and we got the championship sewn up, but who is going to win this race tonight? It's a fun track, man. Side-by-side racing, great mile and a half, and it's all going to be live right here on TurnLeftTV. Well, the Saturday Showdown Series finishes out the season at Kentucky. A 100-lap race. The championship not on the line, but the win is. Let's get it on. All right, hey, thank you so much for coming in here to TurnLeftTV, man. A little bit of stock car action for you. Tonight, great international flavor in this stock car series in the final race of the season. And we are at Kentucky. Valerio Margarito joining us in the chat session. Good to see Valerio out here chatting it up with us. Hopefully everything going all right in the, I think he lives in Italy if I'm not mistaken. So good to see Valerio in here. And some road course racing with him, broadcast some road course races that he's participated in. And again, this is the final race of the season. This is Kentucky Speedway, 100-lap race, this great mile and a half track, and it's been a fun season, man. And who's going to take home the victory here tonight? I think the championship is sewn up. That's all said and done. But tonight, the win. I'm your commentator, broadcaster, Heath Johnson. And again, thanks so much for joining us here. Tonight's race is brought to you by EliteHostingUSA.com. If you're interested in an rFactor 2 server, or maybe even hosting your website or online store, please give EliteHostingUSA.com a look, man. They do a great job with our servers, great support, and also help me with authoring the website. That is highoctaneracing.net. I don't have great web authoring skills, so I need a little bit of help there. And the guys at EliteHostingUSA.com were more than happy to sit down and help me author my website. Please join us at highoctaneracing.net. You get a quick link there to join us on Discord if you'd like to come in and join us, do some racing. And again, thanks so much for coming in. I'm your host, Heath Johnson, and this is the final race of the season here in the Bushwhackers, or excuse me, in the Saturday Showdown Series. I did a Bushwhacker Series race last night, if you want to call it a race. But again, thanks for coming in, and please hit that thumbs up button. Let me know you were here, and share my videos with all your friends. Peace to everybody out there. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. You'll get updates when races are going live. Also, share my videos, man, and have them come out, subscribe to TurnLeftTV. Also, down in the description of this race, please click on that link over to the Fanatec website. If you're interested in purchasing something through them, please use my link. And thanks to all those folks who have done so. I appreciate that. So we got a good one here for you tonight, and some friends already joining us in the chat session, so that's cool. And the Showdown Series, always a fun one. A little bit later, we'll get out at on some super speedway action. The Saturday Night Thunder, race number 2 of that brand new season, and I'm going to get out of the broadcast booth, get in the car, and mix it up with the best. The Saturday Night Thunder has been going on for over 20 years. I know we started racing some pickup races back in 2001 and still going strong. Race number 2 in the Saturday Night Thunder. It's at Talladega Super Speedway. 80 laps coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And come on out and join me. I'd love it. Looks like we have a couple minutes left in the practice session before we go to qualifications. Right now, 11 drivers joining us. I think we'll probably have a few more. Generally, some of those guys like to join a little bit late. Maybe some other obligations going on. They got to finish up. We can take a look at the track here at Kentucky Speedway. 1.5 in length, 2.4 kilometers, located in Sparta, Kentucky, and a great one, man. Great tri-oval area there, and I think this track seems a lot wider than it really is. Race side by side for quite a few laps. It's tough to make some passes here, but both lanes will work. I think you might even have 3 lanes there. I don't think we want to go 3 wide, but there's a lot of room to race here at this track. Banking in the turns is 17 degrees and down. That's turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4 at 14 degrees. And again, a great track here in rFactor 2. It's actually called Eagle Creek in rFactor 2, but this is Kentucky Speedway. Well, I think the championship is all over but the shouting, to be honest with you. We look at the point standings coming into tonight. Ricardo Alameda, we're watching him right now in that 22 car. He's got a 100-point lead, and just solid finishes, man. Solid effort for Ricardo, and it looks like adding to his IndyCar championships, now going to have a stock car championship here in the Showdown series. Got a great international flavor in this series. Ricardo, one of our Canadian drivers, and proving that he is a really, really good driver here on the ovals. So we want to say congratulations to Ricardo, and I know he's going to compete and try to win this race. How better to win a championship, come out on the last race when you've already got it sewn up, and then also win that race. Paul Brown, Gary Madu, a tight battle for the second position. And don't forget about John Stanley. He's not too far back as well. Stanislav Pavlov in 5th. Alexander Meshkov comes in tonight in the 6th position. Givaldo Spindola is 7th. I don't see Givaldo yet. Claudio Bardelli Jr. 8th. Sean Jacobs 9th. Eugene Zaglotko 10th coming into tonight's race. Now headed on over to the qualification session. If you haven't checked out the Extra Life Children's Miracle Network Hospitals charity event we did, the Daytona 2-hour in iRacing, I have that on the YouTube channel. Please watch that, and there's a link in that description of that race to make a donation to that Extra Life Hospitals Network there. All for charity, all for kids, and raised over well over $1,000. I think at last count we were at about $1,200. So thanks to Will Dunbar and his effort of this is his charity that he's elected to take on, and I was more than happy, really honored to be able to broadcast the race for these guys. And it was a fun one, man. A little bit of a fun race. Didn't have a huge field, but $1,200 plus donated to the charity, and that was a big deal there. So that's what it's all about, and check that out on YouTube. There's a link in there in the description of the race. to make a donation. Take a look at Preston Hassel as he makes his qualification attempt. Right now, Paul Brown, 28.209 is the top time. .399 for Preston Hassel, second on the grid from him. Zaglatko shown third on the grid. Jim Willis right now is fourth. Take a look at Nikolai Garassemoff in the 85 car. Now sixth on the grid there for Garassemoff. So 27.928, Paul Brown's time is the time to beat. Preston Hassel second, Jim Willis third, Zaglatko fourth, Meshkov is fifth. We'll see what Nikolai Garassemoff throws down here. 27.907 for Garassemoff. He is to the top of the grid, so great lap there for the 85 car. Alexander Meshkov finishing up his qualification attempt in that 77 car. He is currently fifth on the grid. Art Viet on his out lap. He says, I want to see what everybody else is going to throw down here. I'm going to throw down a lap that's going to make everybody cry. Art Vieta in the 9 car tonight. His first time lap. Stanislav Pavlov also out on the track to make a qualification attempt. Garassim off the top of the grid with a 27.812. Paul Brown currently second. Art Vieta now coming across the start-finish line for that first time lap. 27.995. Vieta third on the grid. Got a little bit of work to do. For lap number 2, we'll take a look at Gary Madu in his first lap. He's waiting a little bit before he goes out. He wants to see what everybody's running. His KISS sponsor machine. .126. Madu is fourth on the grid. Little work to do for him. Looks like he backed off on that second lap, so that's going to be his time. Vieta is third on the grid. 0.06 of a second behind. Ricardo Alameda, his qualification attempt. Let's see what he does. Here we go, coming off turn 4, Ricardo Alameda down the front stretch. 28.102, fifth on the grid so far for Ricardo Alameda. Pavlov, good run there for him, now in the second position in quals. See what this second lap here for Ricardo Alameda will be. Final turn down the front stretch for the 22. 27.857 moves up to third on the grid. So good run there for the 22 car. Let's take a look at my keys to the race here tonight. Keys to the race. Let's see. Patience. Patience. You think there's going to be any patience exhibited here? I think so. Manage your tires. This thing can be a little tough on tires, and the better your tires are later in the run, the better you're going to be able to pass other cars that haven't managed those tires. Save fuel, man. This could come down to a fuel mileage race. Who knows? It's been known to do that. So great 1.5 mile track here, but save fuel, and that means easing up on that throttle. Maybe easing up a little bit earlier as you enter the corner, and then also not mashing the throttle as you come off the turn here. So definitely ways to save some fuel. Consistency. That means getting in and out of the turns. Got to be consistent there. Don't get too racy early on, man. That's the idea of patience there. But Kentucky Speedway, those are the keys to the race here tonight. Thanks to the drivers for coming up with some keys last night to help me out here. And peace to everybody out there. Thanks for coming in and watching the race here on TurnLeftTV. So about 1.5 minutes left of the qualification session. And then we'll flip it over to the warm-up session, and we'll have a 10-minute warm-up session. Right now, 11 drivers joining us. Normally have a little bit bigger field than that. We're looking maybe 14, 15 guys. All right. Qualification is over. Let's take a look at the results. Nikolai Garassemoff with a 27.812 is the top time. Stanislav Pavlov will start in the second position. Ricardo Alameda, Arteviero, they're row 2. Paul Brown, Gary Madu start in row 3. Preston Hassel and Jim Willis will start row 4. Alexander Meshkov and John Stanley will start 9th and 10th. And starting in the 11th position will be Eugene Zagladko. So it sounds to me like these guys have flipped it over to TurnLeft. Flipped it over to the warm-up session. And that's going to give me a chance to take care of a few things. Hey, watch a nice video. We got about 6.5 minutes left in the warm-up session before we get the command to start the engines. Next Friday will be race number 5, halfway point for the Bushwhacker Series at Dover International, the Monster Mile, 125 laps. And of course, it'll be live right here on TurnLeftTV at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's coming up on Friday, April the 29th. We'll be at Dover. That tough track, man. Concrete, high-banked, 1 mile oval. It's Dover. It's the Monster Mile, live right here on TurnLeftTV. Take a look at the, looks like we had a good, maybe a good wreck here to take a look at. So Bofloff gets into the wall. Oh, man, hard lick there. Comes back across the track and then is nailed. So interesting there. See if we can't get another look at that. Oh, man, that was a good one. A little lost the tire. MJ says son Brandon is watching his dad race today. Watching him win a championship. Not just race. He might end up winning this race and the championship both. If he's got the championship locked up, is he going to rub everybody's nose in it? Each and every time you come out on the track, you want to win the race. No matter whether you have the championship sewn up or whether you're, in last place, whatever the case may be, you want to win the race. And Ricardo, I'm sure, feels no differently. Got about a little under 2 minutes left to go in the warm-up session. And don't forget, let's take a look at Kentucky. It's a 1.5-mile track. It's wide. It's got that tri-oval. You know, it's one of the cookie cutters technically, but I really feel like this doesn't, you know, this is not like a Texas. It's not like a Las Vegas. It's not like a Charlotte, even though those are 1.5 miles as well. It is a different one, man. It really is. And it's not certainly not like Chicago. I think maybe to some extent, maybe a little bit like Kansas in the sense that it's a little bit flatter, but I think it's wider here. You know, there's Kansas, I feel like you got to really go to the outside coming off the turn. But I like this track, man. I've won a couple races here and really some great races. I mean, exciting finishes. So hopefully we'll have one again today. All right, I think it's that time. It is that time. Ready to get things started here, so good luck to everybody tonight. And we are at Kentucky, a 100-lap race here tonight. It's going to be fun. So always excited about Kentucky Speedway. Kind of wish I was out there racing with them tonight. So here we go. Time to get this party started.
And now, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, star of the upcoming comedy Unfinished Business, Vince Vaughn. Drivers, start your engine!
All right, the starting order here tonight. Nikolai Garassemoff in P1. Stanislav Pavlov starts in the second position. Ricardo Alameda starts in third. Art Vieta starts in the fourth position. Starting in P5 will be Paul Brown. Gary Madu starts in the sixth spot. Preston Hassel seventh, and Jim Willis starts in the eighth position. Starting in ninth will be Alexander Meshkov. John Stanley starts in the 10th position, and Eugene Zagladko starts in 11th. So I think the keys to the race here, you got to remember patience. Save some tires, man. This thing will kind of loosen up later in the run. I mean, it'll be tight and it'll be loose. And I think you can really go up to that high line and make that work as well. But again, a lot of room to race here. Just be patient. The racing is pretty intense. The 85, Nikolai Garassemoff, will lead the field to take the green flag. And Stanislav Pavlov will start on the outside line, row 1. So here we go. It's Kentucky, the final race of the season in the Saturday Showdown series.
Go, go, go.
Into turn 1, side by side. Garassemoff looking out of the back of his machine. Good fight there between Pavlov and Almeida. Almeida already now in the second position. Take a look at Preston Hassel. Great three-way battle there. Preston Hassel in the 27, looking out of the back of his machine. You see Gary Madu starting to press the issue. Artur Vieta also with that 9 car. He's looking on the low side. 27 up on the high side. That Twix-sponsored Ford Mustang. He's got some company out of that 63. Good side-by-side racing now. They kind of figured it out. Look at this. We got a battle for the race lead. Ricardo Alameda up on the high line here. There's contact between the 85 and the 22. Early contact there. Early contact. Alameda and Garassemoff got together. Paul Brown in the 41 car. On board him, looking out of the front of his car at Stanislav Pavlov. These guys getting a little wide coming off. Paul Brown in the 4th position. Gary Madu blinked out there for a second. We were trying to focus on his car. He blinked out, but he's now caught up to that. Oh, he makes a little contact with the wall. A little contact for that 63 car. Even a little kiss makeup on the wall. So on board here with Gary Madu running in the 5th position. Ricardo Alameda out to a pretty sizable lead over Garassemoff. And that was the interesting pass there between the two. Those guys battled pretty hard, and there was contact. And we'll take a look at that pass. Right here is the 22 to the outside, getting around the 85. But as they came off the turn, I think there was a little bit of contact. The 85 and the 22. The 22 kind of drifted down there a little bit. And the 85 drifts up, gets into the 22, and almost a big wreck. Now, I think Pavlov had a ringside seat for that one, man. Looking out of the front of his machine. Watch this. This is a replay. As you see, there's tight right there. 85, a little tight getting into that turn. Kind of does the diamond to that turn, but coming off, he gets up into the 22 car, backs off. So things get a little chippy here early. So Almeida out to the lead. Here on lap 8. Good racing here so far. And look at this, 62 car now getting around the 85. Actually, the 85, Garassemoff on the high line is the 62. Stanislav Pavlov now picking up that position. And Zodiac sponsor machine. So Garassemoff now starting to slip backwards a little bit. Take a look at Artur Vieta. He and Preston Hassel have a good battle. Jim Willis also in this mix. He's running in the 11th position. His tires start to wear out a little bit. Guys are going to choose different lines, but it is a lot of fun. Now on board here with Artur Vieta, we got a battle up there ahead. That is Paul Brown and Nikolai Garassemoff battling it out. Paul Brown with the 41 car, now Snap-on Tool sponsor machine up on the outside line. There we go. A little bit more tight racing. Paul Brown trying to get by. And Gary Madu looking to try to make that pass as well. As you see Paul Brown making that pass, and now Gary Madu diving down to the inside line, seeing if he can't follow him through. So Garassemoff is in a hornet's nest right now. Madu and the 41 of Paul Brown get by, and Garassemoff looking out of the back of his car. He's going to have some more company here before it's over with. Look at this, Jim Willis also making some moves. Jim Willis looking on the high side of the 9 car. He's looking to try to get around Artur Vieta. Good battle there. Vieta tried to look on the bottom side of the 27, not able to pull off that pass. But now Jim Willis diving down to the inside line, and they're going to go 3 wide here. They're 3 wide as now cooler heads, I think, prevail. Artur Vieta backs off and lets Jim Willis have that spot. He's not able to get around the 27 car. Preston Hassel's got a battle on his hands, and he drifts up the track a little bit. He and Artevieta battling it out. Artevieta now in front as Preston Hassel in the 27 now falls back to the 8th position. About Eugene Zaglotko in the 33. He and John Stanley running 9th and 10th. John been kind of quiet on the radio. Eugene Zaglotko had a pretty challenging race last week, trying to bounce back here, showing that, man, he can get this car around the track, and these guys are side by side coming off the turn. The 12 and the 33 battling for the 9th position. The 12 now in 9th, and that's getting tight there into the turn. But great, good, clean race in there between Zaglotko and Stanley. Zaglotko going to give up a position. He now falls back to 10th. That right there, I mean, there's been some dialogue, I think, with Eugene and, kind of after a last week's race. And, he messaged me and said, I feel bad about what happened, but, just want to make sure I'm still okay to drive. I said, absolutely, man. Come on out. And I've known Eugene for a long time. Did some IndyCar broadcasting, and he came out and raced with us. The guy can flat out drive, and, here he is showing tonight that he's got what it takes, man, to keep that car in good side-by-side racing with somebody and good, clean racing. So the 33, you look for him to be up front here before the night's over, too. This guy, I think, really short-run bursts are his strength. You see the 41 now battling Stanislav Pavlov. 41, Paul Brown down to the inside. Pavlov on the outside. So Paul Brown starting to move up. He's up to the 2nd position. And this is a guy I don't think you want running you down. Now we'll see if Paul Brown can close in on that leader, the 22 of Ricardo Alameda. 17 laps in. We've been caution-free. Alameda right now is a 3.2 second gap over P2. Got to be careful now about running out too far, because use up those tires, these guys are going to start reeling you back in. Take a look at John Stanley now out there sort of by himself. He's running in the 9th position. He's gotten around Zaglotko, now setting his sights on Preston Hassel. About a second and a half gap between he and the 8th place car, Preston Hassel. Meshkov here starting to peek around on that 33 car, the 77, Alexander Meshkov. Been knowing Alexander for a long time, man. We go back early days racing in another league, and Alexander, one of the calmest, coolest head guys out there. Never seems to get rattled, just understands, hey, that's the nature of the game. And now in this 77 car, starting to put a little pressure on Eugene Zaglotko. Zaglotko drifting high. You see Meshkov a little counter steering there. That car looked like it wanted to snap on him a little bit. But now starting to get a little adventurous with the 33 car. We'll keep our eye on that battle. As our race leader is Ricardo Alameda. We'll take a look at Eugene Zaglotko in that bottom frame. He's trying to stave off a battle from the 77 car. Here we are, 21 laps in, and caution-free so far. Ricardo Alameda leading the field. He's got a 3.1 second gap, so that gap has diminished a little bit. Paul Brown has cut off about a tenth and a half. And he's still continuing to close the gap. As we'll take a look at this gap here between the two. Now it's down to 2.6 seconds. So the 41 car definitely on the move, trying to close in on this 22. He's got some work to do, but the 41, one of the best in the business when it comes to that type of stuff. So now down to 2.6 seconds. We'll see how Ricardo Alameda responds. Take a look at this battle here between Nikolai Garassemoff, Jim Willis in the 53, Black Rifle Coffee Company machine. Now getting by that 85 car, taking over P5. So Willis in the top 5 in that 53. 85 now back to the 6th position. And I'll tell you what, Art Vieira back there lurking as well. He sees those guys out of the front of his machine, and he's a good late race, late run driver. We'll see if he can't make inroads on Willis and Garassemoff. Lead now down to 2.3 seconds, so continuing to diminish a little bit for the 22 car. A little bit later in this run, the 22's lead has shrunk down to 1.9 seconds, so the 41 car on the move. Take a look at Paul Brown in this 41 Snap-on Tool sponsor machine. He is on the moves, closing in on Ricardo Alameda. What a battle this is going to be. If he gets up there, and they'll be side by side, swapping spots. We are starting to hear some maybe pit stops are going to happen here as the 12, John Stanley, indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. Green flag pit stops underway as we see John Stanley making a pit stop here on lap 26. See a 50-mile-an-hour speed limit. Take a look at Meshkoff, that 77 car, gaining some spots here. He still has not pitted. Paul Brown, 41 car, the race leader. And he's now going to come down pit lane here in this 41. Oh, man, that thing is lost. He locked the front tires up on that bad boy. Holy smokes. Paul Brown locking the tires up, or locking the wheels up as he comes through, and Alameda's got a penalty. That is not good for Ricardo Alameda. He has got a penalty. Ricardo Alameda got caught speeding, and he's got a penalty. That is devastating here, as it looks like we got a green flag feel to this race. He is now one lap down. So Almeida peels off the track, but finds himself speeding. We'll take a look at that entry into pit lane, and he is going awfully fast, and he locks him up too, but a little bit too fast entering. And Almeida is good. He is up serving his drive-through. 63, Gary Madu finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track. So big shakeup up front. I think Almeida is going to have to come back down pit lane. Paul Brown is the leader. Or excuse me, will be the leader, I think, when Almeida peels off the track to come down pit lane. And he is a 1.1 second lead, but I know I saw a penalty marker for him. Garassemoff on pit lane, now coming back out on the track, so he's had a little bit of a tough pit stop. Now shown one lap down. Ricardo Alameda indicating he's going to be coming back down pit road. Speeding for the 22 car. And oh man, I'll tell you what, he's trying to get all that speed he can. He might end up missing the cones here if he's not careful. Oh my heavens, man, did you see that? That'll bring out the copper. So Ricardo Alameda getting the nightstick waved at him. Better be careful. I have a little police brutality. So the 22 doing his drive-through, and that was interesting coming off the track. Holy smokes. Let's take a look at this replay. Look at that, through the grass right there, the 22. That was crazy there. Take a look at that again. Watch him working these hands. All right, actually, we're looking at Alameda. We caught that a little bit late. Watch this, working his hands. He's trying to keep. Not too bad. He didn't panic. I would have been panicking, man. But Alameda now back out on track. We're on board here with Paul Brown. Take a look at him. "34 laps in. We've been caution free. We got one car a lap down. Alameda now the tail end of the lead lap after serving that drive-through penalty. Almost got stacked them. Almost got maybe a stop and go on that one. 63, Gary Madu is now up to the third position. Stanislav Pavlov is in the third spot. Take a look at this. Artevieta, Eugene Zaglatko battling it out. Artevieta to the inside, that 9. Getting by the 33, Eugene Zaglatko. Picking up the 8th position. So something's happened there on Vieta, I think, after pit stops. He did not have a very good stop, but it looks like he's lost quite a few spots. Eshkoff ahead of him in the 77 car, running in P7. 23 seconds down. Best battle on the track right now is Preston Hassel, John Stanley. Couple cagey veterans here nose to tail, running in 4th and 5th. So we've been through one round of green flag pit stops. That's what we want to see. Don't forget, a little bit later, we'll be at Talladega Superspeedway for an 80-lap race in the Saturday Night Thunder. I'm going to get out of the broadcast booth, get in the car, and mix it up with the best. A great stock car Cup Series been going on for 21 years. Over 20 years, man. Superspeedway action at Talladega coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on out and join me if you'd like to race alongside the broadcaster. Beat up on me. Paul Brown is beating up on the field right now, as he is picking them up and putting them down, closing in on some lap traffic. Looking out in front of Paul Brown's machine at Ricardo Alameda, who is in 10th. Brown's definitely closing in, and Ricardo Alameda may end up going a lap down here as Paul Brown is closing in. Take a look at Ricardo Alameda in the 22. And Paul Brown, our race leader. Now on the move. So it looked like maybe too far back there to see the tag. Take a look out of the back of Eugene Zaglatko's machine and see if that in the field of view. There we go. Yeah, you got to be a little bit closer, I guess, to see the tag. That's good. Artur Vieta and Alexander Meshkov. Meshkov now falls back to the 8th position. So you're looking out of the front of Paul Brown's machine. You see Ricardo Alameda trying to get around that 33 car. Put maybe a little bit of cushion between he and Paul Brown, but Paul Brown's right there. And I suspect he's going to follow the 22 through. The 22 having some handling issues here. It looks like a little bit loose late in that turn. Paul Brown, the leader. You got to be careful here. No panic. He got a pretty good lead over P2, 3.6 seconds over Gary Madu. Now you're in some traffic. He's got a couple of cars here trying to stay on the lead lap, but that's fair game. These guys are fair to race each other. And also, oh, there's contact right there. Pitching him down to 33 and the 22 getting together. And there was contact. Paul Brown getting through. Holy smokes. Take a look out of the front of Paul Brown at this replay. They got a little close right there as the Glotko pinching down. The 22 getting into him. 22 dove into there, and both those guys drifted up, and now both of them go a lap down. They were racing hard. We'll take a look at this again. There's contact right there, maybe. Pinching him down. That 33 car tightening it up. Look at this. And then Alameda drifted up the track, and that would have that could have been a disaster there for the 41 car. Almost not what we want to see is the Glotko hanging on to that thing. These guys keep him pointed in the right direction, but man, that got a little dicey. It's Paul Brown, the leader. Madu is in second. Now you see Alameda is kind of holding serve here. He's in the lucky dog spot. Glotko and Garassemoff both a lap down as well in 10th and 11th. Paul Brown in command, 3.1 seconds. Now that lead has diminished because the 63, of course, he did have some trouble with the lap traffic, but the 63 only 3.1 seconds back. So maybe starting to chip into that race lead. Stanislav Pavlov in the 62. The Zodiac. He is 10.1 seconds back to the leader, 6.8 to P2. Been having a good night, quiet night here so far. We are approaching halfway, and we've been caution-free. Preston Hassel running in the 4th position in that Twix sponsor machine. He is 3.8 seconds behind Stanislav Pavlov. John Stanley rounding out the top 5 is just about a second and a half or so separating he and P4. Stanley in that Stanley Tools sponsor machine running in 5th. He is 15 and a half seconds off the race lead. A good top 5 run for John Stanley. Paul Brown, the leader in the 41. Alameda behind him is a lap down. We are indicating, some guys are indicating they're going to be coming down pit lane. On board here with Paul Brown as he continues to lead. I think John Stanley's coming down pit lane in the 12 car. So second round of pit stops on the move here. 12, the first one in. Got that 50-mile-an-hour pit road speed. So take a look at John Stanley as he enters his pit stall. Now finishing up his pit stop, coming back out on track is Paul Brown continuing to lead. As you see Paul Brown making that pass on John Stanley. John Stanley now 2 laps down, so he's the first of the pack here to come down pit lane here on lap 53. Gary Madu now 4.5 seconds down, so that lead has grown. What Gary probably wants to see here is maybe the 41 car having a little bit of trouble coming down pit lane, and the 41 car is indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. So the 41, my God, man, the 41, he is making it exciting. My heavens, man, are you kidding me? Holy smokes, man. Did you see that? Take a look at this. Oh, man, that's counter steered right there. Boy, oh boy, did he get caught speeding? I don't think he did. But we got to take a look at this again. And he is absolutely wrecked when he comes off. Look at this thing. This is sideways, man. The white smoke on the brakes and getting it slowed down. That is getting everything you can out of that thing. Holy smokes. 63, Gary Madu, he's likely one of those guys too that's going to push it to the edge on these pit stops. Try to get every little nook and cranny you can get.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
We got a yellow flag as Madu stays out. We got a yellow flag here. I'm not sure what happened. Take a look at Garassemoff. I think there might have been some issues. Stanislav Pavlov down to the inside. Up on the outside line, the 85 car. And I don't see any problems here so far, but I was thinking maybe the 85 might have gotten involved in this. And here we go. Just getting tight right there. Good side-by-side racing between the two of these guys. You don't see any issues there, but Garassemoff might have had some trouble. And it definitely wasn't him, I don't think. He was on pit lane, so something else has happened. I don't know what the heck happened. Okay, looks like these guys trying to figure out where they're supposed to be. Willis on pit lane.
Pit road will be open this time for lead lap cars. road will be open this time.
Guys try to sort the field here right now. So Gary Madu, the leader. These guys trying to figure out the sorting issue here, so we'll see what happens. Gary Madu is going to have to start at the longest in the longest line. I think he's gotten a penalty, so entering a closed pit.
This time by.
Okay, it looks like these guys kind of got it sorted out, I think. Wow, that was an interesting deal. Looked like somebody got in a closed pit. I think the caution flag came out, and that screwed things up a little bit. Here we go. I think we're going green, I believe. Oh, we're not live? There we go. All right, I think we're back. Wow, so we're back here. Sorry about that. So Gary Madu is the race leader. Paul Brown shown at the tail end of the lead lap. So we got that straightened out. Stanislav Pavlov is in second. Preston Hassel third. Jim Willis is in the fourth position. John Stanley is fifth. Take a look at John Stanley and Ricardo Alameda. These guys running nose to tail in the fifth and the sixth position, respectively. Also, Eugene Zaglatko. Now, Zaglatko is a lap down in that 33 car. Gary Badu, the leader, right where he wants to be. Pavlov in second, Hassel third, Willis fourth. Alameda is in fifth. Jim Willis in the fourth position in that 53 car. Looks like Almeida down to the inside of John Stanley. Good battling there between the 22 and the 12. And 22 making his attempt. We hit the wrong key there. I got to learn how to. I got to get a lighted keyboard. Kind of dark in my room right now. Yes, I am wearing sunglasses. 12 car to the outside as the Zaglatko, man, he really threw that car into the turn. He might have gotten into the wall. Holy smokes, did you see that car drift up the track? Zaglatko got crazy. Zaglatko, man, I'll tell you what, he really threw that car into the turn. Take a look at his car here, and this is going to be the turn I think he really throws this car into the, gets on the gas right there and drifts way up the track. And almost gets into the wall. Does a good job of keeping it out of the wall. It is Jim Willis, Ricardo Alameda here battling it out. Jim Willis all over the back of that 22 car. Gilmar Peixoto joining us in the chat session. Good to see him in here. Hopefully we'll see him tonight racing with us. 22 holding on to that position as Willis wanted it. Alameda has it. 22 car up the track here a little bit. Oh, the 22 smack on the wall, in through the grass. That Zodiac sponsor machine, holy smokes, did you see that 62? Almost wrecked. That was a ride there, the 22, Stanislav Pavlov. Take a look at this again. He gets into the wall right here and then comes across the track into the grass. Lucky he does not spin out. Ricardo Alameda continuing to move up the grid here, battling the 27. Almeida down to the inside. The 27, Preston Hassel up on the outside line. Preston Hassel now giving up that spot, or is he ready to? Jim Willis in this mix as well. Jim Willis says, hey, I came to play. Let's go. Jim Willis in the fifth position, that 53 car. He's looking to make some moves here on the 27. Willis up the track. This track is a lot of fun, man, especially once it gets rubbered in and the tires start to wear out a little bit. It gets to be a heck of a lot of fun. Preston Hassel sideways right there entering the turn as Willis going to take advantage of that down to the outside. Jim Willis coming off the turn's got a head of steam here, and I think he's going to get around that 27 car. Now takes over the fourth position. Preston Hassel back to fifth. Gary Badu is the leader as the 9 excuse me, the 62 Stanislav Pavlov is in the second spot, 2.6 seconds down. Art Vieira now the first car, 1 lap down. I think Preston Hassel's on pit lane here, 27 coming down pit lane. Early pit stop for the 27. Maybe he's got something up his sleeve. He got a speeding penalty as well, I think, so maybe not something up his sleeve. Oh, contact there. Gary Madu, Artevieta getting after it. Artevieta now a lap down. Preston Hassel has a penalty. Speeding on pit lane for Preston Hassel. He's got a drive-through penalty. Oh, my heavens, man. Not when you want to see that, that's for sure. Take a look at the 77 and John Stanley coming down pit lane, it looks like. John Stanley on the brakes hard, so he comes off the track to come down pit lane as the 77 got by. Got to the front of his car. You see John Stanley up there coming off the track to come down pit lane. Take his service. Preston Hassel's retired his machine. Says, I got better things to do than do drive-thrus. Art Vieira down to the inside. Looking on that 63 car. Vieira wanting to get that lap back. He's going to push hard to try to get it back the old-fashioned way. He is trying to get by that 63 down to the inside. Art Vieira, that's a contact right there between the 9 and the 63. Jim Willis and Stanislav Pavlov here battling it out to 62. Up on the high line, Jim Willis down on that low line. Looking out of the back of Jim Willis's machine, he's just Stanislav Pavlov in the 62 car. That Toyota Camry running in now the 4th position. He's got a head of steam here. Close it in on the 53, try to get that spot back. Good race there. Vieira now back on the lead lap as Gary Madu leading the field here on lap 82. 41 car indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane. I think I heard Paul Brown indicate that he is going to be coming down pit lane here. So the 41 off the track to come down pit lane. A little bit safer entry this time by that 41 car. Gary Madu also on pit lane. He's the race leader. Ricardo Alameda indicating he's going to be coming down pit lane as well. Also the 53, maybe. I think I heard him indicate something about pitting. The 22, 53, 62, all on pit lane. Holy smokes, man. Busy pit lane here under green. Guess who's leading the race? That's Alexander Meshkov in the 77 car. We got a whole slew of guys on pit lane right now. Garassemoff's retired his machine as well. Take a look at Art Vieira as he does his pit stop. He's had a pretty solid night, but finds himself a little bit behind the 8-ball. Right now, good pit stop there. Gets out ahead of the 62. The 77, Alexander Meshkov leading the field, and he still needs to make a pit stop, and I'm hearing on the radio that Meshkov is going to be coming down pit lane. Meshkoff off the track. Safe entry there for him. Ricardo Alameda is in second. We've had one caution flag here, 87 laps in. We are winding them down. Can Ricardo Alameda pull off the win and win this championship? We know he's got the championship, but can he win this race here in Kentucky? Meshkoff finishing up this pit stop in the 77 car. Coming back out on track. Where is he going to end up? He's now in second. Drops back to third. Pavlov goes by. Madu goes by. And Almeida the leader. Alexei Salviev says he's getting the notification, but he's missing the races. So hopefully we'll see him back soon. One of our IndyCar specialists. Does a little stock car here and there. So good to see Alexei Salviev. John Stanley also getting by Meshkoff. We take a look at this as Meshkoff had returned to the track there. A little bit of a replay here as the 12 car gets by, takes over P5. Nonetheless, Meshkoff having a good night here. He's in the 6th position. Can Almeida hold on to win? His 4.1 seconds lead over Jim Willis. And that lead is expanding. Just got to be wondering here about the tire strategy here, the fuel strategy, whatever we say, the pit strategy, if you will, with this 22. Does he have enough lead here to pull this off? Gary Madu in this 63 car. He's got the strongest car, I think, of the crew, aside maybe Paul Brown, but finds himself a little mired back in traffic. He's now battling Stanislav Pavlov with 10 laps to go. So we're running out of time here if somebody's going to do something for Ricardo Alameda. Paul Brown definitely in that 41 car. He is on the lead lap. He is on the tail end of the lead lap, 27 seconds back, but he needs a caution flag. He needs a caution flag to get back in the game. Jim Willis running in P2 as Pavlov closed it in on the 53 car. As we're starting to wind down these laps, Gary Madu and the 62 of Stanislav Pavlov on the prowl here, trying to take over P2. More of these guys race, the better it is for Ricardo Alameda. Does he have to come down pit lane? .5 second gap now. This battle is heating up here as Pavlov and the 62 close it in on that 53 car. 63 there as well. Closing out the laps. That's how fast races go by once you learn how to race without causing caution flags. We've come down to pit strategy here. 4.4 seconds. 22. Ricardo Alameda has the championship in the bag. Wants the race win. Add the exclamation point to this championship. And with that lead extending, I think we're really talking about, kind of, unless he has to come down pit lane, I think it's all said and done, to be honest with you. Ricardo Alameda has figured something out. I think he's got the golden horseshoe too. I mean, he gets some lucky moves sometimes. Not to say that he doesn't work his way back from some adversity. He really has. He especially showed that in the IndyCar series, but he's done it here in the Stock Car series as well. And that's what it takes, man. I think Almeida is a high IQ driver. He's a guy that's always working the calculator, always making adjustments. And here he is, just a few laps from the championship. Looks for the most part he's got clear sailing ahead. Paul Brown is on the tail end of the lead lap and pretty fast right now, so I don't think Almeida's in any hurry to catch up with him. We got 3 laps to go here for the 22 car to seal the deal here at Kentucky. Jim Willis in second, Pavlov third, Madou fourth, John Stanley rounding out the top 5. Paul Brown wants to see a caution flag. Ricardo Alameda, absolutely not. 2 laps to go for the 22 car. Everybody's certainly kind of content where they are. So we had those green flag pit stops. They turned out the way they did, and it looks like the 22 benefited in a huge way. Got a little bit more conservative with those pit stops later in the race than early, man. He was really pushing the envelope on pit entry, and here you go. Last lap for the 22 car, Ricardo Alameda. Coming off turn 2 down the backstretch, just 2 turns to go for Alameda. And a victory here at Kentucky. So Ricardo Alameda here in the Saturday Showdown series is going to take the checkered flag and the championship. The 22 car, what a great job for Ricardo Alameda. Little bit of pit strategy working out in his favor. So congratulations to Ricardo on getting the win here at Kentucky. What a great race there for Ricardo Alameda and the championship. So congratulations, Ricardo Alameda, on getting the win. So Almeida wins another one, man. How about that? Let's take a look at the results here tonight. Ricardo Alameda gets the win and the championship. Jim Willis, great run for him, finishes in the second position. Stanislav Pavlov finishes in third. Gary Madou has a good fourth place run. Probably not the one he wanted. I think he had a pretty strong car here tonight. John Stanley fifth. Alexander Meshkov sixth. Paul Brown finished in the seventh position. Artie Vieta finished in eighth. Eugene Zagladko, good ninth place run there for him. Good solid run for Eugene Zagladko. Preston Hassel finishes in the 10th position. And finishing in P11 is Nikolai Garassemoff. So Great championship there for Ricardo Alameda. And gets the win here at Kentucky. Like I said, putting an exclamation point, putting the cherry on top of the championship. We'll see if we can't get him up in the booth with us and have a little bit of a chat. All right, we're joined up here in the booth by Ricardo Alameda, putting an exclamation point on the season with the race win here at Kentucky, and it came down to pit strategy. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, it was a bit lucky with something wrong with the plug-in, and that knick-knack something. So, anyways, I'll take it for the times I lost it because of that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened here. It looked like there was an incident there when we were going through green flag pit stops, and maybe somebody got kind of caught in no man's land. They're entering a closed pit or something. Sometimes that stuff happened, but it looked like for the most part we kind of got I really wasn't paying a lot of attention to who was where before those pit stops started, but looked like things sort of got figured out for the most part.
Yeah, well, it was one yellow only? Is it one yellow only?
Yeah, one yellow only.
So that's very good.
Well, it looked like your strategy pit entry early on, man, was be a little aggressive, and that could be dicey coming off the track onto that flat area before pit lane, and you got a little bit more conservative on that, the second rounds of pit stops there. Talk about how it was to get on and off pit lane here, and also what it was like to race in traffic here at Kentucky.
Well, an advice for everybody: when you get to pit, look your tachometer every time. Don't look around to see something else, because that's what happens. I had got speeding, so it was like I'm looking, it was supposed to be 81. I was at 83. Oh, man. And that's it. Yeah.
Well, you were able to, I think all season long, and even going back to the IndyCar series too, you have been able to recover from adversity. Things happen. You get some mistakes, either things that could be your fault, things that could be other members, other drivers' fault, and you fall behind, but you're like one of the best there at working your way back up through the field to get back up there and being competitive and even winning races in those circumstances.
Yeah, it happens. I don't know why, but it happens. Yeah, I'll take it.
Well, jumping over here from the IndyCar series to race stock cars, you're now coming away with the championship. What was the season like there for you? You got 5 wins.
At the beginning, I will be happy with 1 or 2 because of the quality of the drivers who was there. I see a couple champions coming in, and that will be hard. And one of the hardest race for me to win, it's like Talladega, it's Daytona. You need friends, and for any reason I don't have too many friends, when everybody's running every week, so they all friends. I'm coming, jumping in, it's like Yeah, not sure to helping you, but it's my biggest win for me. It was Dega for sure. That was a fun race, and I'm looking to do more races like that. Talladega and Daytona. It was like fun races.
Well, hey, congratulations. Great championship and well deserved. And like I said, topping it off with the win in the final race, too, is a big one.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, good luck to you.
Thanks.
And I'm sure we'll see you back on the track.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's Ricardo Alameda joining us up here in the booth, and another championship for Ricardo. So congratulations to him and getting the win here tonight at Kentucky and winning the championship. We got some more racing in store for you. Don't forget, Talladega Super Speedway 80-lap race. I want to jump out of the broadcast booth, get in the car, and turn some laps at Talladega. This is going to be a good one. 80 laps, and the Saturday Night Thunder starts at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in coming out and racing with us, come on out, man. We'd love to have you. And this is a night that I love. It means a lot to me. I get a sort of, not worry about broadcasting and get out here and turn some laps and have fun and mix it up with these guys. And maybe if I beat them or beat up on them, I can talk a little smack. This just earned some street cred and racing with the best. Really, these guys are great race car drivers. I want to say thank you so much for coming in here and joining me on TurnLeftTV this season in the Saturday Showdown series. That's going to do it for me tonight, and we'll see you next week. I am out of here.